I wasn't too happy with the stoppage. I felt it could have continued. And my boy probably, Charlo
Lamanha said, I'm going to keep going. It's like, chill out, man. the California Commission, you know what I'm saying? They did the right thing. Shout out to them. I remember in moments hitting Munguia with body shots, and he would go.
He's trying to market himself or promote himself in the wrong way.
He has the boxing ability. He has good IQ, but he got kill mode. Hey, what's good, peoples? It's Gabe Rosado. Welcome to another episode of Mi Gallo, along with the champ, Abner. Yeah, man. We had a busy weekend, man. I was in Guadalajara, eating good, calling great fights on the zone.
You're in my state, man. That's where I'm from.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
it was dope, man. They was dancing salsa out there, too.
I
I was like, yo.
We can do it all out there, brother.
I said, okay, they out here dancing,
you
bro.
didn't try no torta
moves.
ahogadas. You didn't try no carne en su jugo, bro. Those are the favorite there.
I had like a torta and stuff like that. I had some tacos. You already know.
It's clarified. He had a torta, ahogada. Like torta.
Yeah, with the soup on the side, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was good.
Either
man.
It's on the side or they pour it on top.
Yeah, because I was like, I bit into it, and I was like, damn, this bread's hard. And then he was like, you don't got your soup. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning, bro. My wife's Mexican, but I'm still learning details about certain things.
You know what it is? Like each state in Mexico has different, plates, different, dishes. And in Guadalajara, torta ahogada is like they're known for the torta ahogada and carne en su jugo. Carne en su jugo, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
The best.
I no doubt. Yeah, because that's what is definitely missing, bro. I bit into that thing. I said, jeez, this bread's a little stale. but I was doing it wrong though. Yeah, man. But
I was in Vegas, my boy. It was hot out there. It was like over 107, like 107. But I stayed in my room, studying, doing my homework.
Yeah, no
doubt. Big card we had.
Oh no,
we had Charlo. Charlo was back. He's back, baby.
Yeah.
Lines only.
Yeah, man.
He did his thing.
So yeah, let's get into that, bro. So he fought
Lamanha.
B-Rap. No, it was Lamanha. I was about to say B-Rap from Hollywood. What is it? Malibu Most Wanted.
Malibu Most Wanted.
Listen. I go back with Lamanha, bro. So I'm a crack on him. I go back with him because it's funny, bro. Because it's just his swag and his attitude was he sold the fight.
He did.
But
as a promoter, he's a promoter himself.
Yeah. He should go back to promoting.
He will.
Because he was just doing things in a way where it's like he was gassing himself, but he really didn't fight nowhere near the level that he was making it out to be. And he was showboating at times in the middle of the fight. It's like, how you showboating? You just got hit with a 5-piece. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, I guess anything it takes to get yourself going, right?
Exactly. I think what he did was smart, man. Like I said, he's a promoter on outside of the ring, and he promoted the fight really good. Like he came out like really confident about like, oh, I'm gonna shock the world. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like he made his presence be felt like if people are talking about him now, or he could have just been an opponent like he was. Get KO'd and that's it. But no, people are talking about him. He did what he did. He knew that this might be, and I think this is going to be his last fight. And he went out there and collected a check. That's what he did. My homeboy, he came out, with a little bit of swag, and he didn't do he didn't do shit in the ring. He didn't do shit. Hey, big props.
He got hit with a hard jab, and then Charlo loaded up with an overhand right and missed, and then he kind of like showboated on him that he missed, and it was like.
Nah, but listen,
it's like Charlo
there was not a lot of missed punches from Charlo, though. You gotta give him the fact that his timing was there, his his rhythm was there. Like, he wasn't so rusty. Charlo coming back, he was a year and a half out. Mental problems, issues that he was having, personal problems that he's having outside of the ring. So my props to Big Charlo because he did his thing. He did what he was supposed to do.
I'll tell you what. Matchmaking is an art.
It is
because they matched him up with the perfect guy.
Yeah.
Because listen, Charlo did look good. You know what I'm saying? But I did see ring rust. You know what I'm saying? And it was the perfect matchup for him in the sense of Lamanha got bad feet. So Lamanha was always
feet and hands.
His feet are real wide, so he was always in position to get hit.
Yeah.
Even when he thought he was boxing, he was always in position to get hit. He really didn't know how to like create angles. And there was moments where you could see that Charlo really couldn't pull the trigger in certain moments. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the ring rust.
Of course, I honestly felt that Charlo did pull the plug. I mean, pulled the trigger and was able to let go of his right hand when he wanted to. For sure. And every time he did, it was landing. But it was him like trying to get in some rounds. And he even talked about this, you know, previous to the fight. He was like, man, I want to get some rounds in. Yeah. And he was touching with that jab. That jab, obviously, Big Charlo's known by for that, you know, vicious jab because it's not just a touch jab. It's a powerful jab. And he was catching Lamanha with the jab. The right hand, really not much other than 1-2, and that's all it took. Honestly, like you said, the perfect
get back fight,
matchmaking. That was it, and he did what he was supposed to do. Boom, gets the W. Sure. I wasn't too happy with the stoppage. I felt it could have continued. And my boy probably, you know,
Lamanha said, no, I want to keep going. It's like, chill out.
Yeah, but he would have got knocked out. And that's everybody knew that. But I wanted like a vicious knockout.
But here's the thing. That the round before when he got stopped, he got hit with a stiff jab and he got rocked. Yep. And he wobbled. He was walking to his corner like wobbly. And then that round, the next round coming in, they stopped the fight. And then you know, sometimes guys, you know, they put on the act like, don't stop the fight. Don't stop.
I'm just saying, like. I think they should have let it continue. That way, Charlo could have gotten a nice, you know, stoppage. Like
but Lamanha was hurt.
Yeah, he was.
Lamanha was hurt. Lamanha was hurt. One thing that impressed me with Charlo that I think is really difficult when you have such a long layoff and you're dealing with outside problems, right? Is your eyes and like, you know, getting away from shots. Right. You know what I'm saying? The reflex. Right. So I don't think his feet are quite where they need to be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I could tell there was moments where he wanted to let the right hand go, but he didn't. And that's experience, understanding.
He didn't let it go.
Okay, I'm not gonna let it go because I don't got that pep yet. But whenever Lamanha did throw shots, Charlo, he was slipping, he was rolling the shots. And I was like, that's impressive because honestly, the eyes are really hard to kind of get that rhythm. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that he looked good.
What I was
in that
really
sense.
Impressed with Charlo was, you know, how he came into his fight mentally. Like you said, like all the problems that he had outside, like, you know, even, you know, with the separation with his baby mama, the kids, you know, talking about that he doesn't see them as often as he should. Like, you know, so much that goes, you know, outside of the ring that could affect the fighter's performance. But this time he looked really calm. He looked like he wanted to show us, the fans, that he was back and he meant business. Yeah. You know, and it was just not like going out there and going out and just letting his hands go and try to get a knockout. No, he was working. He was trying to let his jab go, you know, getting the feel of the sport again. Let's not forget, there was also his brother, Jermel, was the reason that he came back. He told me, like, you know, I talked to Jermel after the fight as well, man. Big shout out to Jermel, the twin brother. He was like, man, what you think, Chan? What you think of my brother, man? He's back. Like the excitement as a brother, you know, to see his twin brother, you know, come back and be in the picture. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm happy that he not only showed us that, you know, he looked good physically, but mentally, like, he's back, you know, he's back because, like you said, the movement, the decisions that he made inside of the ring is a man that's thinking in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So that alone lets you know that mentally and physically, he's a step further, you know, for us to appreciate his technique. So I'm excited for what's next for him, which was supposed to be Caleb Plant.
What the setup was for Charlo, you know, to do what he did, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, obviously in the press conference, he said that Plant dropped the ball and, you know, going into Plant's fights with
Recendes.
Armando
Recendes.
Man, it was like it was a shocker. No one was giving Recendes any credit, any props. They really thought it was just a build-up fight.
Build-up fight, yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, Recendes fought a good fight. You know what I mean? Very disciplined, good foot, good understood distance. Yeah. Had a good jab. You know what I mean? And for me, right, I feel like Plant is fighting too many hard fights back to back, and it showed.
Yeah.
It's taking a toll.
I'm going to tell you what I saw in that fight. First of all, no one expected, you know, for Recendes to come out and beat on Caleb Plant the way he did. No one other than the team, the corner, the whole team. And I will tell you why, because I know Robles, I know Estrellita, I know the conditioning coach. Me and Estrellita, we cool, man.
Yeah.
So I hit him up like, yo, what you think of the fight, man? Just be honest. Like, champ, we're gonna win. Champ, like, man, you're just saying that because you're in the corners. Like, champ, trust me, we're gonna win. He's been looking great in the gym, and let's not forget they have history together. Caleb Plant and Recendes. Recendes was Caleb's sparring partner when Caleb was getting ready for Canelo, because he resembled Canelo's style. And then I heard from Recendes' camp that they got rid of Recendes because he was putting hands on Caleb. But then Caleb was saying the opposite, that no, that they let him go because he was too easy. Like, he wasn't helping them out. So now we know the real story. The real story showed up.
Yeah.
So what I saw in the fight is, yes, a perfectly game plan by Recendes. He followed the instructions from the corner. And big shouts out to Manny Robles, because this is not the first time that he does this.
He did his thing in the corner, bro.
Huh?
He did his thing in the corner.
Exactly.
With instructions and
but everything. I'm saying that this is not the first time that he upsets, big fights like this. Let's not forget, he had Andy Reese when he fought Anthony Joshua. Boom. He had Espinosa when he fought that Puerto Rican fighter, and Magdaleno when he fought Donito Donaire. Yeah. So the Coach Manny Robles, he knows what he's doing. Right? Obviously, he's been doing it for a while. So the big upset is an upset and like a big bomb for us that we're not expecting. But if you kind of like really saw what was going on, you would know.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a upset. You know what I'm saying? Because Recendes, he has a good record. You know what I mean? Solid guy. For me, right?
Yeah.
What do you think in the sense of Plant, Benavidez? These are all back-to-back tough fights.
Mm-hmm.
Even his last fight, he got touched.
McCumbee, yeah.
And he got rocked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go into a fight with a young, strong fighter. It's I feel like Plant needed. I feel like it should have been the other way around. Plant should have got matched up with Lamanha.
I feel like styles make fights, my boy, and it had been known that any pressure fighter gave Plant trouble. He talked about Canelo, Benavidez, even McCumbee. Like once they pressed on the gas and put pressure on Caleb Plant, he doesn't know what to do. Even though he's so good at boxing, once he has him like here in front of you in your face, like. He tries too hard and he tires himself out.
When he's on the front foot, he's good.
When he's on the front foot, all right, good. Boom, when he pushes you back. And that's he was able to make the adjustment against McCumbee, and boom, he got the knockout and the stoppage. But here in this fight, it was just too much. Recendes coming forward, pressing on him, cutting off the ring, working the body, combinations. Like, Caleb Plant did not know what to do with that. And I get, the fights, the tough fights after tough fights, it's a wear and tear as well.
Mm-hmm. And one thing is, Recendes, he knew how to throw the right hand, because this is a way to throw a right hand, because Plant was dropping down, right? So sometimes the right hand, the way guys are throw a right hand, if I'm throwing the right hand straight, you're going under it.
Yep.
Recendes was throwing it, he was arcing it.
Yeah.
So he was kind of like chopping it. It was a straight right hand, but he was arcing it at the end, where Plant didn't see it coming. It was kind of hitting him on the blind side. So like Recendes knew exactly how to throw the right hand on him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was
they did their homework. I'm telling you, the corner did their homework.
They did their job.
And it helped. I'm assuming that it helped that the fact that they had sparred before. You know what I'm saying? They worked together before. They sparred. And once you spar, a couple of weeks, 2 days, whatever it was that he was there in the camp, like, you kind of get a feel of what the fighter was.
Where now, right? Like, what position does this put Plant in? Because now I think anyone that fights Plant now is gonna know. I think they already know, but for sure, it's like, yo, pressure.
And it's been known. That's the thing. Like,
back them up.
Exactly.
And the thing is, I think it's to the point now with Plant where it's not that it's just pressure. I think, man, his chin is suspect now.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's getting hurt, bro.
You say, like,
he's
the
wobbling.
wear and tear. Let's not forget he's our generation, Playing. Like, he's been in the business for a while.
And when I say this, I don't even, like,
it's respectful.
It's no disrespect. But it comes a time, man, where the punishment and the years and the wear and tear, man, it catches up to you, bro. And And there's really, and sometimes it don't even take a fighter that even has power that could rock you, because once you already lose that grit of taking a shot, it's just I don't know what you could do. So my thing is like, where does Plant go from there?
I mean, to answer your question, what does Caleb plan to do after this fight? I think he should go back, sit with his family. Obviously, he's going to be a father soon, just think about his family, think about himself. Like, he doesn't need to do it anymore. He made a lot of money. The Canelo fight alone, he made a lot of money. And these young fighters, they're hungry, they're younger, and they're vicious. And a fighter that doesn't fight so well going backwards and can't take pressure like Caleb Plant, doesn't. I mean, why you put yourself in that position? So I think if he wants to do 1 or 2 fights, you fight against older fighters or fighters, in your level. And that's it, call it. It is what it is. He's not. I don't see him getting back.
Charlo said he still want to get his lick back.
And I'm not exactly.
So do you think that fight still? Do you think that fight still happens?
Yeah, because again, Charlo did good, but didn't look like the old Charlo. And Caleb Plant, he lost. But if they were to put them against each other, I wouldn't be mad at that fight. I think it just the names themselves, will sell out, and I will be as a fan, will look forward to watching that fight.
I agree. Unfortunately, Plant didn't get the decision, but I still think that fight sells. I still think the entertainment behind that fight, with what happened between those two, I think it still sells. And I think you got Plant stylistically, it makes a great fight because Plant is the boxer, and then Charlo is a little slower on the feet, on the footwork. I think his punch placements were good, but I think it makes for an entertaining fight at the point, at the stage of their career right now. I think it makes for a good fight. So I still want to see that fight.
I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. For sure, we'll see what Charlo wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man.
Lions only. Shout out to the Charlo family, man. Congrats.
For sure, man. Now speaking of the super middleweight division, then we had Bekt and Fulgum. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good fight.
Tell me. Were you impressed with Bekt? I'm gonna tell you what I saw. I haven't seen a lot of improvement from him. Since he fought you, to be honest.
Yeah.
He still opens up a lot. He goes in aggressively. I like the aggressiveness, but the hands are over here, or you'll put them down.
Yeah.
You get me? So the fight was okay, but again, once you get to a certain level, there's corrections that you got to make, and I have not seen them from him.
No, I agree, man. Like, I think Fulgum, the way Chris Mannix had hit me up, he told me, he asked me, like, he was like, yo, what do you think about the fight? And I said, I think Beck's gonna get outboxed. And I think Fulgum had the skills and the right game plan, and he was outboxing Bekt, but he just couldn't take the punch. He couldn't take the power. And surprisingly to me, Fulgum kept getting hit with the straight left, which that ain't Bektimir's punch. Bektimir's punch is the hooks, the wide shots, and he kept catching Fulgum with the straight left. So I think for Fulgum, I think it's just a matter of him tightening up the D. I mean, fight more on an angle, two squared up, hands high,
straight back,
elbows. You know what I'm saying? Just not protecting his sides. So I think he has a good style, but you got to fight more on an angle. You got to give away that target. He was giving too much of the straight lefts. And then for Bektimir, I really didn't see much improvement. You know what I'm saying? I think his power is his power, and I think that's what keeps him in the game.
Yeah.
But
even then, we talked about it this off cameras, and you told me his power is not that. That.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when as far as the headshots, they don't carry power, because you got to understand, Bekt fights off of a bounce, right? But when Bekt is
a lot of those punches are pushed.
Yeah. That's how I feel, because it's very amateurish when he's punching up top.
Okay.
Now, when he sits down on the body shots, his power comes from the body shots, because he sits down on that shot,
the torque,
and he's bringing that shot from underneath. It's kind of like a whipping shot, like a hook, like it's coming like on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
So he's sitting on that shot, and that's what makes it so powerful.
It's crazy you say that, because when he fought you, I remember he boxed too, bro. Like he started
rematch.
boxing. In the rematch. Yeah, like he started boxing. The first
who is this guy?
The first one, everybody knows what happened in that one.
Yeah.
Before you knocked him out, but I'm saying, like, he made the adjustments. He was able to bounce more, move. But in this fight, I wasn't. Was too, too excited, too, he didn't sell me much,
Yeah, man. And what I saw in the fight between them both, I saw a lot of I saw a lot of green. You know what I'm saying? Like Fulghum's D wasn't tight, and then Bekt is still doing the amateur stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think it's just a matter of them really just tightening up, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They got to tighten up. It's something that I noticed with fighters nowadays, right? And tell me what you think. That the killer instinct is like a lost art in the sport now. I think it was it was almost like almost every fighter once had that. Where now fighters are more like want to score points. Right. And don't get me wrong, bro, it's a sport, right? But it's the hurt business. Yeah. What do you think's happening with fighters that they're losing that killer instinct, bro?
I think I know what it is. I think that a lot of these fighters are scared to lose. What I mean by that is that, they feel like if they go for the kill and they get hit or get knocked out, like they know they're going to take a loss. Like, I got to start all over. Then before, like, we just go out there and, wanted to get them out and move on to the next and try to make a statement. Now people want to play it safe, as long as they're touching them, they're taking, getting points. All right, I'm already winning the round. Keep it safe. And that's it. Move on to the next one. Yeah. That's how I feel. That's what I think. That's what's happening. Unfortunately, a lot of these fighters they're scared to lose, bro. They're scared of.
My thing is this, right? Are guys doing camp with the mindset of like
just securing a win and
or guys going into camp with the mindset of like destroying their opponent?
Not anymore. You don't see that anymore.
Right.
You don't see that anymore. You don't see people doing camps like, I'm gonna knock this guy out.
And
like,
they say it.
And most of them don't say it nowadays. Oh, we'll see how it plays out. Normally I don't go for the kill unless I see it. Like, man, what you mean by that?
What's going on, guys? Because look, man, I feel like what makes fighters stand out, like for instance, Inoue. Why is Inoue? Why is he capturing?
Because he's not afraid to get hit, get knocked down.
The dude fights. Why was Miguel Cotto so entertaining?
Same thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like those are fighters that live on. They live on. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, people still talk about them. And it's like,
we were not afraid to get punched in the face, Gabe. We weren't. You know what I'm saying? And these fighters, they're too worried about it.
That it really annoys me, bro. And I'll tell you why, right? Because I called MJ in Guadalajara.
That was a good fight too.
And MJ, he got the stoppage. But to be honest, I felt that he could have got the stoppage like 3-4 rounds earlier. And I felt that, MJ, he was putting himself in position to hit his opponent, but he just get out. He was there, we'll get out. Yeah. Then it was like he was looking for that perfect punch. Yeah. Rather than just letting his hands go. Whenever he let his hands go, he was touching the dude. He was hurting the dude. He had the dude all busted up. But it was like that killer instinct, and your next guy is guaranteed is Inoue. So you would think, let me get this guy out of here because I'm not gonna play with my fool. Because shit, this guy, anything can happen in boxing. A lucky punch, or a clash of heads, a headbutt. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Go,
so with the MJ fight, okay, he got the knockout, but it was just like, it was like 4 rounds.
Yeah, and you're right. And I think what you allow by doing that is that you give your opponent more rounds to study you. You get me? Instead of you just going out for the kill and you hurt him, you get him out. Boom, your opponent sees that. And I'm like, oh shoot, I got myself a real fight coming up. Instead, you're giving the opponent more rounds to look at you like the flaws. Like, oh, I see now. He throws a jab, but he hesitates. He overthinks. He doesn't commit. You know what I'm saying? So little things like that you don't notice that you're doing. And during the fight, that you're giving the advantage to your next opponent. You perfectly said with Inoue. Inoue's not. Inoue is the type of guy that's not afraid to get hit. If he gets hit, he gets hit, but he goes there for the kill. And MJ, he knocked him out in the 8th round. I think stopped him in the 8th round. I think he could have finished him before. There was many times where he hurt him, and like you said, did not go for the kill.
And that's a different kind of force and energy when you're fighting a guy that he's coming at you like he wants to hurt you. You know his intention is to hurt you, but he's tactical.
Yeah.
Because me and Abner, we ain't talking about just going out there and being reckless.
And throwing being dumb
and doing rock'em sock'em robots. You know what I'm saying? It's being tactical, but with the intentions of destroying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think when guys fight anyway, it's like they know that that's a whole different kind of force. Now, MJ and Inoue, when they match up, you know, I really find it hard for MJ to win that fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I really find it hard because I'm going off of mentalities.
And
I'm going off of like
too.
This. Yeah, I'm looking at the styles, but I'm looking at the mindsets where Inoue is just a seek and destroy kind of guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think you make your point right there just by using Inoue as an example of how to really just go out there about and looking at fights. Then MJ, if you give the fighter more opportunity to think inside of the ring, and that's MJ. He's going to think jab, jab, you know, giving Inoue a chance to kind of figure him out. I mean, it's just going to come down to a matter of time when Inoue presses on the gas and decides to, you know, seek and destroy type of mentality. And that's what, you know, Inoue is all about.
Yeah, because, you know, to stay on it, I just think like the mentality now, you know, with fighters not having that killer instinct, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like when a fighter has that, if I'm fighting a guy, right, with that mindset, I'm automatically going to step on the gas now, and I'm going to test his heart now.
Because you know that he's not.
I'm going to test his heart now.
because he's not about that.
Yeah, because, okay, maybe you might be faster. Maybe you might be quicker. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I know I'm going to get you at is I'm going to get you on heart. Because if you don't want to exchange and you're playing that, we're over here fencing. Yeah. Then it's like, oh, okay, the adjustment I'm going to make in the next round is I'm going to just be on top of this guy now. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's almost to go into the Plant fight, and no disrespect to Plant.
No, but
but I think that's the adjustment that excuse me, what's his name?
Recendes,
Recendes made, where he realized, okay, I can't play the fencing game with him. I'm gonna just go at him.
Yeah, and it was Recendes obviously and the camp. Because you notice that in the first, second, third round, even the third round, Recendes was in the outside. Yeah. Boom, boom. He played with it. All right, cool.
Yeah, he played with it.
And he made Caleb Plant think that he had him. Like, okay, cool. This is the style I'm going to be fighting in. Perfect. You know, this is how I fight. But then he made the adjustment. The corner told him, all right.
Yeah, shout out to Robles, because Robles said, all right, when you're in the inside, you got to work. You got to work.
Do it.
Yeah.
And you test the heart, you test the body, you test the willingness, you test everything. Once you got them there, and I'm going to tell you about an experience I had, you know, I mean, you had them, you know, during your fighting career. When I fought this fighter named Anselmo Moreno, he was undefeated for I don't know how long, I think like over 10 years, world champion, beautiful, slick softball, bro. Just used the entire ring. And me, you talked about the killer instinct. I swear to God, during training camp, I just said, I'm just going to go after him, bro. Like, I don't care if I get hit. I don't care if I get knocked out. I'm going after him. And you can go back. People can go back and watch the fight, the tape and watch it. There was a moment during the fight where I literally ran to catch up to him. Like, when we try to get away, I ran. Like, I took 3 steps to cut off the ring, to run, you know, and let him know that I'm here. I'm not letting you loose.
Bully the clever boxer and take him off his game. And it worked for the most part early in this fight. Good body punching and then some excellent straight right hands would send Moreno to the canvas for the first time.
So, again, I knew that he didn't hit as hard, but he was technical. But I knew that he always liked to play it safe. Yeah. So with that mindset, I going like, I'm not gonna let you go, my man.
Because that's a strategy and that's a weapon to bring into the game. Because that changes that when a dude comes at you like that, that changes the whole mindset of the fight, and that's something that I feel fighters need to realize. Yo, you can use that, because I think a lot of times people got the misconception of if you fight like that, it's like boxing is hit and don't get hit. It is. But guess what? Sometimes, dude, you gotta get hit. Sometimes you gotta take a chance. That's the sad
part about boxing. Sometimes people don't want to get hit nowadays.
Muhammad Ali been down. Floyd Mayweather got rocked a couple times. let's not forget, Pretty Boy Floyd was a destroyer. He came at
Pretty
you.
Boy Floyd
He was willing to sometimes take a shot to get you out of there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So guys gotta understand. Okay, yeah, the name of the game is hit don't get hit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take a chance.
And those were the fights they used to sell. Those were the fights that till this day we talk about. The Leonards, you know.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, when you automatically think of fights that stand out, what do you think? Barrera Morales,
Duran,
Gotti Ward. Yeah, Duran, Leonard.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro, we know about fights that we weren't even born because they're so talked about that we go back and we watch them. We watch the Leonard fights. We watch those fights because they're talked about. No one's talking about someone getting
I'll box.
Outpointed. No one's talking about
how he ran. You saw how he cut that corner.
Yo, you saw right there how he threw 3 feints and then he stepped out. No one cares.
He didn't hit him yet. He didn't get hit though.
Yo, it's crazy, bro. But yeah, man,
boxing now.
we need that killer instinct, man. We need that killer instinct.
We need it back, guys. Bring it back,
For
fighters.
Sure. For sure, that shit's funny. In boxing news right now, man, we just got the California Commission. You know what I'm saying? They did the right thing. Shout out to them.
For real, man.
Yeah, real talk. It's a no contest. Navarrete Suarez, which
we all saw. We all knew that fight, he did not win, bro. Yeah. I mean, my respects. It was a good fight. He was fighting good, obviously, until that, cut.
Yeah.
That a lot of people were saying it was a headbutt. Other people were saying it was a punch. I knew it was a punch. You knew it was a punch. The commission made the right decision, and now is a no contest.
Yeah,
and
man.
They got the rematch set up now, right?
They got the rematch set up. Suarez gets to make some more money, and then he gets another shot, man. So I'm happy with that, man, because boxing is a sport where it's like, it's very unfair.
It is.
It's very unfair, bro.
I'm gonna say something. I gotta go back to the Caleb Plant fight. Did you see that scorecard, bro? The split decision.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, look,
it
man.
Was not, come on,
look,
Gabe.
So this is
the first maybe 3, maybe 4 rounds, Caleb Plant, but after that it was all Recendes.
Yo, so speaking of that night I was calling a fight with Gallows against Medina.
Okay,
bro, Gallows had just came off a loss off of the Puerto Rican dude Matias.
Okay, surreal.
And this was a get back fight for him. Dude, Medina, I think, was 8-2. You know what I'm saying? And Gazo, he had way more fights. Bro, Medina outworked him. Bro, won the fight clear as day. Robbed him.
Yeah.
And when I see shit like that, I just go like, damn, bro, like, you know what I'm saying?
It's sad,
like you
man.
stole. Medina wasn't a good fighter, no disrespect to him, but he wasn't like world class level.
Right.
But that was his moment, bro. That was his moment to shine, get a win on the zone, be the guy that fought for a world title. That was his highlight. You know what I'm saying? And they stole that from him, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, for the to go back to Navarrete, man, for the commission
to overturn it
and do the right thing and give Suarez his first shot and making some more money and getting a chance to fight.
That's big.
Salute to the California Commission, man, because there's way too many times where fighters are screwed over.
I hope they start doing that, man, and start revisiting
I've
these
experienced
fights.
it a few times.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I know you have.
I mean?
So I'm glad. Shouts out to the Commission of California for doing that. And now we got a second fight coming up, the rematch.
No
Now look forward to that. I'm looking forward to it now.
That New York card.
The
only dude.
The only one that showed up was Teal.
Came through was Teal. So, you know what I'm saying? I think, bro, Teal, he loves attention, bro. And I think Teal desperately wants to be the man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity, man, for him to get back on.
What happened?
Not that he's off.
No, what happened with this?
Not that he's off.
I heard I saw an interview with Tio and Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, where Oscar went and told him like, yo, harassed him like, yo, how did you get fired on your day off? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I heard that, Turkey Ali Shea fired you. Yeah. And he's like, I guess he did,
I don't know the ins.
I don't know the ins. I think sent him a message or heard from someone that he doesn't want to work or deal with Teofimo Lopez. But then days later they announced this big fight, with Turkey Al-Shea in Saudi Arabia.
I'm curious to know that if Turkey doesn't want to deal with him because of the antics that Teal uses, you know, the borderline racism, which I find. I don't even. Where is Teal from, bro? Because he can't be.
I want to say
he can't be raised in Brooklyn because I'm from Philly.
Yeah,
and Philly and New York have a lot of similarities in our lingo and how there's a lot of similarities with East Coast. So that's something we don't do. We don't play around with that. Yeah. You know, the eating bananas and
the word
whether he said that or liquor. I don't the N-word or the liquor word. I don't know what he said.
I think it was a liquor, and then
but he was
been saying
but it was a wordplay.
Well.
He was being funny with it.
Yeah.
So my thing is
drink. Yeah.
I really don't understand that tactic from Teal.
I mean, I think he was raised in Brooklyn. So I think that he feels that he kind of gets a pass.
I could bet that he's not raised in Brooklyn.
That's what he says. He claims that he was raised in Brooklyn. He's not from Mexico. A lot of people forget that he's from
he's Honduran.
Honduran, exactly. And I don't know if he was raised with a lot of or grew up with a lot of blacks, but even then, I don't think you get a pass to use that tactic, like you said, to use that kind of way of clowning people, trying to
cause controversy, to build the fight. And
there's ways to do it, and I don't think that's a way. Again, a lot of people are taking it personal, some aren't, but one that definitely I think did, and that's the reason why I think that His Excellency Turkey Al-Shea didn't want to probably deal with him, is because maybe that my boy's loud. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants to know and wants to make people feel his presence be felt.
Yeah.
But again, that's the way he is. He's a cool dude. I like Teal. Teal's a cool person.
How I feel about it is this: I feel like you're way too good and way too talented to be doing that. Use that tactic. Like, bro, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not you're not an influencer. Mm-hmm. You're a legit pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but can I say something?
Undisputed champion. Yeah. And my thing is this: that I feel like a guy like Teal, right? Mm-hmm. He needs his talent to speak for himself, and he's gonna gain the audience with entertainment and what he does in the ring, because you got to understand, right? Let's keep it 100. Okay. Boxing comes down to race and ethnicity, in the sense of when you see fights in the UK, man, the UK support their guys heavy.
Oh, they like Mexicans too.
But what I'm saying is whenever there's a fight with a Mexican and a Puerto Rican, what is it?
Yeah, Mexican.
It's the pride.
The pride. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Teal being Honduran is not a big fan base. Mm-hmm. So
what side he's picking?
Who's rocking with Teal? Yeah. So when you're using language like that, you're losing a lot of people. Yeah. When you're talking like that, because who's gonna rock with you? Yeah. So it's like, if you want to gain fans, that ain't the way to do it.
I think someone needs to advise, Teal, that's not a way to promote yourself, to carry yourself. I think he's doing it not because that's how his heart is, because he's not a racist person. He's a good dude. I know him. I think he's just doing it wrong. He's approaching, he's trying to market himself or promote himself in the wrong way. I think, unfortunately, nowadays, talent sells to a certain point. You get me? But things like this get people talking more. Look at us right now. We've been talking about this for about 10 minutes now. So it gets people talking about but it's not the way. I know. I'm not saying it is, but unfortunately that's the way people do it nowadays. They rather do something wrong to get people talking about them than do something right. And unfortunately people don't talk about the right things.
I'm going for Haney now.
Yeah. No, you ain't. Stop. No, you ain't.
No, you know what, bro? But I just think, like, damn, bro. I just feel like, I'm trying to think of a fighter. Right, that stood out and was loved and
for what?
For instance, like Alexis Arguello. Nicaragüense.
Yeah.
But like Alexis Arguello was such a and look it up, guys. He's a legend. he was such a good fighter,
Mm-hmm.
and he had such a big right hand that he captured the audience.
But
he
that was
captured
back
the
then.
American.
That's what I'm telling you. But that was back then.
But I'm making an example because what I'm saying is it's very rare in boxing for a fighter to come from a country that is not followed by boxing.
Yeah.
You know, so like you know what I'm saying? So when a fighter is I wouldn't say the outsider that comes from a country that predominantly is not a boxing country, it's hard for them to build themselves up.
Well, but I mean, look, there's ways. Like, okay, there's another example. Mayorga, not, he came from Nicaragua, not a big following, but still, why did people follow him? Because he created this persona. No, because he curated this whole persona, smoking. Remember, he used to smoke after the fight. We could take a drink, could chug a beer, and smoke a cigarette.
Smack Shane Mosley white butt. Yeah. That was crazy.
That's how they would sell themselves, you know what I'm saying? To get people talking about them. So, I mean, there's different ways to approach it, but not the right way.
Yeah. Real talk, man. Real talk. All right, man. And then other news, man, is we are waiting for the second test of Munguia, whatever the hell test this is. It's like, bro, you failed one. So who cares about the second one? you failed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like,
you're marked already. You're marked.
The typical response from a fighter is, I didn't do any, or get the hell out of here, cuz. Bro, look, man.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you handle this one.
I wanted to respect Munguia. I really did. We went to war for 12 rounds, and let me tell you something. I was like, this dude ain't normal. I said this dude's conditioning was crazy, his energy, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I truly believed he was on something. Now I'm not saying he was, but. I was so in shape for that fight, bro. I had just came off the knockout with Beckir. I was so in shape. And I remember in moments hitting Munguia with body shots. And he would go, he would hold, like, I mean, it'd get him. And then, bro, within like 5 seconds, he'd throw a 5-piece combo. And the energy, these spurts of energies would come out of nowhere. And I was just like, man, like after the fight, I told my team, I said, damn, bro, it was like that dude was on something.
Did you really?
Bro, I'm telling you, I was man, it was like, Abner, I've been in this game for a long time, bro. I fought the best of the best. I never experienced a guy with the ability to recover so fast.
Especially body shots, right? Body shots are the ones that slow you down. And that, didn't.
I truly never experienced that, bro.
Yeah.
So now he tested positive in the rematch with Bruno. And I feel like whatever lawsuit they give Munguia, that money needs to go to Bruno.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And it's like, what do you think?
And overturn it, obviously, to a no contest, or maybe overturn it to a favor of Bruno, the victory. That would probably just be a no contest. But listen, I'm gonna stay away from this one a little bit. I want to see what comes back in the second sample. We don't know yet exactly how much, what percentage did he come out, positive. Again, I know that no one just comes out positive just because of, out of the blue. Like, oh, you touch someone that, that my man already said.
Because you know what? There's another part I'm gonna throw in there.
Yeah.
When we fought, they come into my locker room for my drug test.
Okay.
I do the drug test, and then I said, well, where's Munguia? He got to do his drug test. They say he's not here yet. I said, well, let us know when he's here so I can send one of my team members to see him get the drug test. Bro, he got to the arena so late. This we fought in the Honda Center. He got to the arena so late, they skipped the drug test. This is no cap, dude.
You're not supposed to skip it.
I'm so into what I got to do that I'm not putting so much thought into anything. So I'm like, whatever. He didn't get the drug test. He went right. They said supposedly he went right into the hand wraps and dressed up with whatever. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? So look, man, I feel like anybody that fails drug tests, and for fighters to be like, well, I don't know. It must have been something that I ate or whatever. Bro, to be so irresponsible that you don't know what the hell you're putting in your body, like how does that happen?
Yeah.
Like, bro, every camp I did, I know what I'm eating.
I know.
I know what supplements I'm taking. You know what I mean? Like, you think somebody gonna give me a pill and tell me, take this pill. What does this pill do? I'm gonna ask questions. What is this pill?
But what if they tell you, oh, it's I don't know, it's creatine, and you think it's creatine, and then you take it?
I'm not taking nothing from somebody that they gave me that I ain't see.
No. I'm just saying, it's your coach, it's your conditioning coach,
I don't care.
and you trust
I
them.
never in my life drank something for. Bro, I'm old school, right? Like, one thing, we never even drank the water from the other corner.
Yeah.
You know,
I used to do that.
You know, when the other corner comes in, like, water, like, nah, I'm good. I ain't drinking your water.
Yeah,
like, I never even drank another corner's water. I never went to a gym and drunk water from their water bottles because you never know. You know what I'm saying? So I always paid attention to whatever, bro. I'll go.
But then something you do fall into that trust, comfort of your team. You trust them. Like, for instance, when I used to train with my conditioning coach, thank God I never because I never did anything. But my coach had, vitamins, like maybe like 10, 15. You already know how many we take.
Yeah.
And I just, see them. I knew what I was taking. And so I thought I knew, because he would tell me exactly what they were. And I would take them. You get me? So I can see sometimes why you can fall for it. And perhaps you're your coach wanting you to win, your conditioning coach so bad, they'd be like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy this. He's not gonna know. But me as a coach, conditioning coach, I know that, by the time he fights, it won't come out. Or it's very minimum what I'm giving you. It could happen. I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what would happen there. We gotta wait and see. You're talking about your experience because you fought him and what you saw when you fought him, and you do gotta say, because you gotta work, because you faced this guy.
Because when I fought him, the energy level and the recovery level,
and it's not normal. Yeah, when someone gets hit with the body shot,
I'm hitting this guy with some shots, and then you didn't see that energy in the Canelo fight.
Yeah,
you didn't see that. He when he had fought Ryder, who gave Canelo a tough fight. In Mexico, bro, he blew Ryder out. He destroyed Ryder. And then when he fights Canelo, now this is a whole different level.
I think that's anyone that fought Canelo. I think,
But I'm just saying, now when you fight Canelo, no. But it's not that. Of course, Canelo's a better fighter.
No, it's not because.
But notice
some people mentally already defeated when they fight Canelo.
This is the point I'm trying to make. When he fought me, look at the energy level. When he fought Ryder, look at the energy level. When he fought Canelo, he was shot by the fourth round. Tired, exhausted. I'm looking at the fight. Like, why is he looking so? That's not Munguia. You know what I'm saying? And then now he comes back against Bruno, and he's back on his. All right, so this weekend, man, we got on top ranked Keyshawn versus De Los Santos, and speaking of killer instincts, I believe that Keyshawn is a fighter that has
Keyshawn Davis, man.
that kill mode.
I'm sold on Keyshawn Davis. Actually, I like the whole family, the brothers, man. They're really talented, really skillful. I like the Davis family. Keyshawn Davis against De Los Santos. Not an easy fight because De Los Santos does not make fights easy. Let's not forget his last fight was in 2023 when he fought Shakur Stevenson. We all know that boring ass fight. Damn, that was the one. But then also he knocked out Rayo Valenzuela. So I mean, this is a guy that go in there and he will test you. He will give you problems. So not an easy fight for Davis. But if he were to come out victorious, which I think he will, what do you think? Where does he go in this division, lightweight division?
Well, what I like about Keyshawn is he's a guy that he has the boxing ability. He has good IQ, but he got kill mode. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. Like when he's hitting you with the intention to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the style I like, man. So it's a fan friendly fight. I think with Keyshawn and this, he gets past this guy. You got Shakur and Zapata. I think the winner. You know what I'm saying? Which I favor Shakur and I favor Keyshawn. Can you imagine Keyshawn and Shakur?
That'll be a good one, man.
That's a rumble.
That'll be a fire.
That's a rumble. Man. So I think that's the fight that. You know what I mean?
I think Keyshawn Davis is there. You're right. I think he's got to get past De Los Santos. Once he does, that's the fight he needs to go for because, like I said, man, I'm high on him. He does his thing. He fights really aggressive, smart aggressiveness, and sure. That's always an exciting style to be watching.
All right, man. So also this weekend we got the Cruiserweight champion Jai Opetaia.
Yes.
Hard name to pronounce. hope I said it right. But he's a top guy in the Cruiserweight division. Me personally, I like Zordo. Mm-hmm. I think Zordo for me is the most skilled guy in the division. But obviously Zordo has his big fight coming up, and then Jai Opetaia he gets this win. The fight that I think will be great for the Cruiserweight division is those two guys clashing.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope that's the one. Because then I heard that that they won Zordo against the winner of Jake Paul or Chavez or other fights. But I much rather watch that one, the one you're talking about. Yeah. Zordo is a skillful fighter. I know Zordo really well, and I've always been a fan of his boxing skills, but now he's become an aggressive fighter, and I even like that even more.
Pressure.
So he's a boxing pressure fighter now. He's a big boy, tall for his weight class, big for his weight class. So I'm excited to see Zordo in this fight.
And Zordo is like. I'll make it cheesy. It's like Bruce Lee. Be water, my friend.
Okay.
He fights with that style.
Yeah, he does.
He's so fluent. Boom, boom. Yeah. He's a big dude, but he cuts the angles. Boom, boom. Yeah. He cuts the angle. Boom, boom, boom. 3 punch. Ain't super fast.
For a softball
but
too,
the
man.
Placement and the timing. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, Zordo is a technician, dude. Yes. He's a technician, bro. Yeah. And Opetaia, man, he's a powerful puncher, and he kind of got similarities of Zordo with the angles and things like that. But I feel like Zordo is just a little more elusive.
No, he is. He is, and he's been perfecting his craft. I visited him a few times at his training session, training camp, and man, he looks in shape. He's ready. Sure. And he wants the big names after this. So I like his style. I like what he's doing. I like the progress that he's making. And I think Zordo Ramirez is the big name right now for Mexico.
For sure. And you know what? I'm going to go as far as to say that I believe Zordo will conquer the Cruiserweight division as far as unify. And I think he'll move up to heavyweight and fight for a world title at heavyweight. Because he got the size, bro. Yeah. He got the size. Like, I don't know how Zordo was making super middleweight or even light heavyweight, bro.
You're right.
He's a big dude, bro. He got the size and he got the IQ. And I think he would be an impressive heavyweight eventually. When the time comes. For sure, man.
Yo, it's a wrap for episode 17 of Mi Gallo. The best podcasts out there of boxing. Mi Gallo with your boy Abner Midas. Gabe Rosado. Talk to him, Gabe.
Yeah, man. That was what? We did it. That was take 25. But look, man, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tune in and subscribe. Do not forget to subscribe. And we're on Spotify as well. Leave a comment. We appreciate the feedback. Let's go. Mi Gallo.
Mi Gallo, baby.